This is going to be a video on replacing your vehicle security module. This is a 2002 Ford Excursion. I believe from 02 and up, they all used this. Before 02, they used the GEM module. So classic symptoms of a bad VSM, vehicle security module. Power locks don't work. That seems to be... There are some mixed symptoms, but the classics are the power locks don't work, the radio doesn't power off when you turn the key off and open a door, the dome lights don't work normally. They'll turn on when you first turn on the key and then turn off, but they don't turn on with the doors. Your door ajar light on the dashboard will stay on all the time. Power locks, I think I mentioned, keyless entry doesn't work. It's a handful of stuff, and usually all of them happen. Some people have reported just a few of them, but I think they almost always you get all of these symptoms. So the 2002 uses this module right here. That's my old one that's already been removed. 2CT or 2C70, I believe, is 2002. 03 would be a 3C7, 04 would be a 4C7, and on. From what I've read, the 2002 is the one that goes out most often. The later ones seem to be pretty solid. If you have an 02 and you replace it with an 02 module that's working, there's no programming involved, plug it and play. If you replace it with an 03, supposedly, from what I understand, it's also plug and play. If you remove it from an Excursion, and possibly also if you get one from a four-door, the crew cab four-door Super Duty. Apparently those also plug and play, but I'm not totally sure. So if you buy a 2002 module that's still working, you don't have to do any programming, but the 2002 is prone to failure. So I chose a 2004 that I bought on eBay, and I don't know if I'll be able to get those numbers to show up. Well, so we've got the 2C70, 3C70. That denotes the year, apparently. The C7T seems to stay the same. The 15K602 seems to stay the same on all of them. The last two letters, this one is AG. The one I replaced it with is an AE. And I don't know what the letters signify. But in any case, if it's not an 02, it's going to, well, not an 02 and possibly 03. If it's not one of those, it's going to need to go to a dealer or somebody with the Ford special Whamma Jamma computers to program it. I paid $165 at the Ford dealer for programming. That's with the module removed. We'll get to that in a minute. And $160 seems to be kind of the average that I saw online. Most Ford dealers charge the same. If they have to remove your module, they'll charge a lot more because of all the labor involved. And that's why I'm doing this video, so you can remove your module, show up to the dealer with the module out of the dash, makes it nice and easy for them. You pay the $160, $165, whatever they charge. So to get that sucker out, it's buried way up in there. You remove your dashboard, radio, climate controls, and there's plenty of videos out there for that, so I'm not going to deal with that stuff. Once you've removed that, so my Excursion is a limited and it has the electronic climate control. If you have the mechanical dials, it's going to be different. I don't know exactly how those are set up. Anyways, that box that I just shoved into place is part of the climate control stuff. I'm trying to get the vacuum lines set up so you'll kind of see what you're gonna see in your vehicle if you have this digital thing, and bear with me, I'm sorry. This is hard to do one-handed. Trying to make it so it's as close as possible to what you're going to see when you get in here to try to get your VSM out. Almost there, sorry. All right, so once you have your radio out, your climate control panel thing out, then you see this guy with this bank of vacuum hoses here. So you'll pull these out, you squeeze these two tabs. Sorry, I'm trying to see through the screen, it's hard, but there's a tab on the left, tab on the right. You squeeze those, pop that guy out of there, and then you've got that little black control box. Trying to get my hand in around the flashlight. I know this sucks. So you'll see the head of a stud basically here. There's another one there. On the back side is a nut here and a nut on the other one. 10 millimeter hex nuts. You'll take those two out, take this guy out, and shove it kind of down out of the way a bit. Then get my long screwdriver pointy tool here, get my light back in position. I apologize, I'm a much better mechanic than I am videographer. I suck at this. So, and getting there, son of a bitch. All right, so on the left side of the VSM, up there where my screwdriver tip is pointing, you can't see it very well, is a 10 millimeter nut. On the far right side of the VSM, yeah, I can't get it, but there's another 10 millimeter nut. Now, the one on the right, if I can get a good angle, it's in view, but I can't really get a pointer in place. But that shiny gold-ish thing down in that little square dark area, that's the nut on the right. The nut on the left is that other little gold, blurry, shiny thing. There will be a black plastic cap type thing over it, and you can sort of make out the cap there. I know it's hard to see, but right here's the cap. You can see kind of a shiny edge of it, and then there is the stud with the nut that holds the VSM. That black plastic cap thing is actually like a holder for this big fat wiring harness. So you have to pull that plastic cap thing up, push it out of the way to get to that nut. There's no straight angle without really contorting the hell out of yourself. So I used long extension 1/4 inch drive with a U-joint and a 10 millimeter. I used a 10 millimeter semi-deep, I think they're called, mid-length, that's, yeah. A deep socket should work, it's just a little bit tight space. But it has to be a deep or a mid. A regular socket isn't gonna be deep enough, most likely, because the stud's too long. So you take out, once you've taken all this other crap out of the way, before you loosen those nuts. So you've got your 3 connectors, gray, green, and blue. You're gonna wanna pop those loose, and they are also a pain in the ass. So there's a push tab right in the middle of each one. If you try to do this with your fingers, well, God help you. So what I did was I used a long screwdriver that's got, I believe it's a 1/4 inch tip on it, a 1/4 inch wide tip. Get it into that slot, push in to release the tab, and twist, and you see that it pulls the connector out. Once it's out that far, then you can reach in there and yank it out the rest of the way. If you loosen the VSM, it's going to be harder to pop those wires, so you want to pop those, all 3 connectors, pop those before you take out the nuts. once you get the nuts out, you have to twist and turn that VSM module to get it out of this hole, and it's a pain in the ass, but you eventually figure out the angle to the dangle, push stuff out of the way carefully to not break anything. You get the module out. Now once you've got it out, you can, well, obviously your old one is junk, so it's going to end up in the trash heap, but you've got, you know, your new one that you're going to install. Oh, and here's my invoice from Ford. It was $165. Program VSM per customer request. So what you're going to do is take those 3 big connectors, the whole wiring harnesses, and push them down, and they're going to come out right here to the right of your accelerator pedal. You can pull those down here, plug your new VSM into it, and drive it down to the Ford dealer, or your old one, or whatever. It doesn't matter. You can drive the truck with or without the VSM. It doesn't matter. In some cases, I don't understand all the computer crap, but in some cases they'll take the information off your old VSM to program the new one. So that's why I wanted to leave the wires down. I drove in with, I drove into there with the old VSM connected, so if they were able to pull data, they could pull the data off that. Then they would plug in the new one and put the data into the new one. In my case, I don't know if they couldn't get the data or didn't try. So the other option to program is they use what's called as-built data, and Ford has all of your vehicle's data by VIN. So basically they plug the VIN into their system. It gives them all the as-built factory data for this vehicle. They put that into your new VSM that came out of a different vehicle, and everything works. I paid $200 for the module on eBay. It's $200, $210, somewhere like that on eBay. If you go to a local junkyard, you might get it for less. Pick apart, you can get it for like $50, I think they said it was going to cost, 50 or 60. But none of my pick parts get 02 and up Excursions. They rarely get Excursions at all. They're mostly older ones. Different areas probably have better luck. This is Southern California. These things don't rust. They have a high resale value, so very few of them end up at a junkyard. But yeah, there's a lot of options on finding one. Ford doesn't sell them, so you can't buy one new even if you wanted to pay the exorbitant price of a new one. I think that pretty much covers all the difficult stuff. Oh, and if you have the door keypad thing, come on, focus, you fuck. So in the top left corner upside down, you see the 81425. That is going to be your new keypad code. So here's the old module. The old module 24803. Of course, this one's sitting up right side up, so that is pretty much how it sits in the truck, is upside down, pretty much vertical. So with that 5-digit number, you can then program your own personal numbers into the door pad if you wanted to. Then there's videos on that. I did a video on that, so all the guys who watched my video on that, who used to know how to steal my truck, well, now they're screwed, because they're gonna have to watch this video to know that to steal my truck now, they have to hit 81425 into my door pad. So no, they can't steal my truck anymore. Only you guys can. Anyways, I think that's it. Hopefully, I know I suck balls at videos. I'm sorry, but I couldn't find any on replacing this thing, so I figured I'd put one out there. Maybe somebody better than me will pick up on this one and do one that doesn't suck ass. All right, hope it helps somebody out there.